Well, today was the first day of camp. We got in the van and we went on our way there. When we got there, we listened to what our groups were going to do, and then we went to do it.
This is our 12th year of the camp, and it's kind of hard to believe. It seems like it's been like a couple of years, but 12 years have passed. So I'm kind of glad I'm still involved with the camp, and it's always nice to see both students and the mentors coming back each year. Each one of you in your packets, you have the Aleut phrase of the day and then Aleut word of the day. We will be doing that each day.
My Aleut name means peace.
Unangam Tunu word of the day is Uchitila. Everybody said Uchitila. One more time, Uchitila. That is teacher, Uchitila. And then the other one is grandma, Kuka. Kuka, everybody knows that one, right? Kuka. So those two words of the day is, first one is Uchitila, and then Kuka, grandma. Kuka, grandma.
We caught fishes, cut them up, cleaned them, and got the eggs out.
The reason we do the fishing is because we start off with the fish as the important part of subsistence, because subsistence is very important to the Nungan people.
Alexis, is this your first time coming to Camp Qungaayux?
Yes.
Why did you decide to come to Camp Qungaayux?
Because people keep saying it's fun and I wanted to try it.
Today we caught fish and filleted them. Alexis, how did you like the filleting and cutting?
It was kind of fun, but not really, because you could get the blood on you and it was cold.
Good and stuff, is just that all the blood's kind of annoying to get on your hands and stuff.
Breaking necks and washing the fishes. Well, first, you put both of you put your fingers in the gills, and then just pull it up, and then when you see the crack, and then
you have to put your, and then you put the other hand down, then you pull up. But you have to hold down on the back of it. Yeah.
Well, you have to do it until you hear the crack.
Yes. And I felt 3 cracks when I did it. My first time. It was like.
One of them are pink, and one of them are some of them are salmon. I mean, some of them are pink salmon, and some of them are red salmon.
They caught a lot. Then we cracked the heads and gave them to the other campers, who set them on tables and would have the fish cut up.
And then we're trying to teach students how the fish was prepared and preserved during the part of the year. So this is how one way of showing the skill of filleting fish, not only filleting but also preparing them for drying and salting, and also right now we're doing canning too, which is not really traditional, but so it's just and then students get the chance of seeing how fish is preserved, and through just the process.
Well, today I loved cutting the fish and holding the fish. It was awesome. I hope we do it again this week. That was the first time I held fish guts, hearts, and others with just my hands. I do hope we do it again. I don't ever want to miss something like that.
I think we're making smoked salmon. Yep.
Today we witnessed the making and bending of the bentwood hats. It was interesting. First, we chiseled the wood into a certain shape and thickness.
Cool. Is it probably all this down and then that a little more, just a second, let me read that.
They sanded it down for smoothness and comfort.
They drill hole depending on what kind of hut we're making.
There were visors and full crowns in varying sizes.
They soaked them in boiling water for approximately half an hour.
This makes them easy to bend. To make sure they bend correctly, they have to make the process quick.
For visors, they bent them and placed them in molds.
They used clamps to secure the huts. For full crowns, they bend them on the cleases already made by the chiseling.
Once they dried, you glue it.
They tied the back to keep them from unbending.
When the hats dried, they painted the hats.
What are these called?
These are the Aleutian bentwood hats. These are the miniature visors that the students are making at the culture camp.
And why do they have these?
Oh, good question. These, Nahu, are the whiskers that the man would wear when he's out in his kayak. So each time he caught a seal or sea lion, he would add one to his hat.
And do the designs mean something?
The designs do mean something. Yep, they became more elaborate after the Russian contact, after the European contact. But basically what they would represent, the simple designs, would be just bands. When they started were just bands of different colors that they would have naturally. Yeah, and then they would get more elaborate. And these ones mean the swirls of the ocean, like in the wave. Okay, and this is what the young boy would wear out at sea in his kayak. And then they would wear this one when they got older. Probably like your dad would wear one like that.
Are these heavy on your head?
Oh no, go ahead. Do you want to try one on your head? You tell me if it's heavy or not.
Actually, it's really light.
Very light. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Today the first thing I did was archaeology. We worked on our awls. We got bird bones and carved it with rocks. We had 3 kinds of rocks: metamorphic, igneous, and sedimentary.
Rabbit ears. Aren't really hollow like bird bones.
Sean Dixon was a group of campers talking about archaeology.
They were talking about bones and how to cut them to make tools.
We are going to make bone awls. And what do you think you need a bone awl for? Does anybody know what an awl is? No. I don't even know what a bone awl is. Okay. What do you think an awl will do?
Cut things?
It doesn't really cut things. An awl build stuff. It's hammer. Sort of pointed. And what it does is it actually... What an awl does is an awl is used to make a hole in like material. for skins.
Does that mean we're making a hole in this?
Nope, we're not going to make a hole in it.
They were bird bones.
They used bird bones because it was stronger than wood.
They're trying to poke them with sharp rocks to make tools.
They look like they were making mini spears.
These spears were used to make holes inside the leather.
I thought it was pretty interesting.
I haven't heard about bird bones being cut by rocks.
I went to archaeology and learned how to smooth the tip so the bone won't shatter.
Also, I was the first student to poke my awl through the leather. I want to make a needle too. Today was fun.
Wow! Wait, you have to get it even.
Cut through this and we'll talk to you more about it. And the seal was one of the more important ones the Unangax people had. So.
Makes us mammals. Air. We're warm-blooded.
Today we looked at seals, and it was cool, but it smelled real bad.
Don't lay eggs. We don't lay eggs, right? We have live babies. Okay. The front fins, or these are the pectoral fins, or the hind fins are what it uses to swim.
Good look, and then I'll take these out.
So you guys see that blubber layer, that white?
Yeah, I suck it. No.
Yes, dear. This part you see is the liver, but Reed will explain more about what the liver process is, what it does, and so forth.
Okay, guys. Great, it's all warm. Okay, so here's the esophagus or the food tube. So it goes from the mouth down this tube, and then it'll come into the stomach. So you think this thing is hungry, or it just ate a big meal?
Ate a big meal.
Probably ate a big meal, all right? So it goes in the stomach here, and you can see the lobes of the liver right here, and this little thing right here is the gallbladder. So the liver, I just told you, the liver helps break down, right, fats. Okay, they're enzymes that break down fats, as does the gallbladder, where you get most of the food. For a human being, your small intestines are about 20 feet. Okay, for a seal or sea lion, it's more like 40 feet. Okay, they spend a lot more time digesting food than we do. Use diaphragm for...
Diaphragm was used for, you could dry it up and then use it as dry meat. Food.
What about the
pancreas? Things like that. So we try to keep it as traditional, what they passed on before, but we sometimes alter into like the modern type of activities. And we try to also bring in native and Western science and try to connect them together. That's
Camp Qungaayux, and what do you like about it?
I love Camp Qungaayux, and the best thing I like about it is the new mask making that Julie Derricks does. I thought that was very colorful.
Did you try doing the mask making?
No, but I sat in and I watched them do the finishing touches on their mask.
So even though we're not interviewing, you can still get
just don't move. Here you go. Okay. Oh, they're in the path already. What do we do with these?
Hi, Alana. How do you feel about the mask making?
I don't know how I feel, but I know what it feels like. It feels like all like wet and squishy, and then these nose tubes feel like
I think Sarah said you could breathe, but they feel all weird when they're up your nose.
Why do you have straws in your nose?
So because it's so you could breathe because they have to cover your mouth.
How does it feel putting this stuff on Alana's face?
Well, like at first it's all bumpy, but then once you put it on the face, like you just smooth it out and it gets like that, like all nice and smooth, and then it gets all hard, and then I guess you have to take it off after it gets hard.
Okay.
Not very long. This particular mask is something that's kind of common, and I just added to the process by doing the facial adornments of the Unangax. These tattoos running down the face here, they symbolize a number of children.
Where do you want to wait for?
And these right here were representative of where they came from for the women. The men's, this painting like that was like war paint, and according to my husband anyway, there's not a lot known about it because he said it was taboo, but it also he also said that it was war paint, and sometimes they painted their faces for rituals, and it's the males that paint their faces and only the females do the tattoos. And they also did some piercings and stuff like that. And both men and women did piercings. And they were supposed to, well, for decoration, of course, but also to ward off evil spirits and also to honor what the relationships between humans, animals, and the natural environment.
I went to make my mask. I put piercing on my lip and painted my mask. I used colors blue, rust yellow, and green.
One eye covered. Oh, you want one eye covered? He wants one eye covered. One eye covered. This one. Okay. Wait, this side.
Dude, is this in recording? Oh, yeah.
Michael, that's recording.
Then we went to dance and learned the whole dance, but I forgot the name.
The kids are dancing about an unsuccessful hunter named Qungaayux.
An octopus said that he would help him be a better at hunting if Unangax gave the octopus a white otter head because it gives it wisdom.
The hunter doesn't give the octopus the white otter head, so the octopus takes over the town.
The dance was made by Larissa from Unalaska and Crystal from Attica.
We learned how to do our dance for Saturday. We were also singing a song.
And where did you learn the dances?
I learned, our first dance class took place in our old school with our old a dance teacher, Lucy Syverson.
Do you know any more dances than the story?
Well, I know when we were younger, we learned Chugget in class. But we have Qawalangin Tribe and our Raven dance. And we've tried to put together a dance, a more modern dance for the Father Last
And when did you started dancing?
I started the summer before I was going into 3rd grade, so about 9 years ago.
When you first started, did you really like it?
Well, when I first started, it turns out Larissa was actually calling to ask my brother to dance, and it wasn't about me, but I wanted to dance. So I told my brother that I'd take his spot.
How many years do you think you will do dancing?
Well, I plan to continue teaching dance as long as I possibly can. Like, this is one of my favorite things to do over the summer.
Do you dance the thing that you were teaching us?
Do you have a favorite part you want me to show?
I like all the parts.
Okay, anything you don't remember that you want me to show you again?
After the part, like the first part, and then the octopus.
When the octopus takes him under the water? Okay. So we start with our hands and we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And this means that the octopus has grabbed Qungaayux from his kayak and he's bringing him down under the water, deep underneath the water to talk to him. Yeah.
But you usually start, there are two kinds. You can either make a basket or a mat with it, and with a mat you start off with a stick and you tie multiple strands of grass, dried out grass, along the top of it. It's basically just an extra piece of grass that you begin to weave with, and you go from one side to the other back and forth, and it takes a really long time, but eventually you'll start forming a mat out of what is basically looks like tied knots. And the tighter you make them, the smaller the little knots will be, and it eventually creates a mat.
Today we were weaving. It was hard for me because I was confused.
Weaving is an art few can master. They use dry grass and sticks. Sometimes they dye grass so they have a different color on the pattern. They tied the grass to the stick and tie a knot. They also made the decorations on the bottom. They use beads and shells to decorate the wall hangings. They also make baskets with these materials.
Today was fun.
Did they stop?
We had native games and it was really fun. The seal hop was fun.
Okay.
We threw spears at a target and I only hit it twice.
Are you guys dancing?
Favorites are bentwood hats, survival, and skin and gut work.
How about you?
I like skin and gut work because you get to learn about what they wear, and I like making the hats because usually they didn't wear hats like we do now because they made it out of wood and like ink or something, and it was just really amazing how they made it like that without nails or anything.
It's kind of addicting. I like being out at camp. Being stuck in the school, it wasn't quite very fun. I mean, the activities go on along as usual, but I just like being outside with everybody. Some of my friends, I get to hang out with them at camp. It's just something fun to do.
Sea squirt. Look at that. How long have you been teaching at camp?
I would estimate 9 years. And you know what the funny thing is? I saw a student when I first came back to camp because I missed last year. And he was just like a little tyke when I first went to camp. And I used to have to chase him out of the water because he constantly wanted to get wet. And I saw him when I first came back, and he's now a teenager. And he goes, I behave now. And I'm like, oh. And I was teasing him, you know. Say, have you on Ritalin? He said, that's not funny, but you know. That was cute. I like that.
Well, initially what happened was that we live in an Unangan community, and then we were going to stress to the students, which they never had a chance to learn about their culture. So what we try to do is we try to instill in students the pride and the rich culture that the Unangan people had at one point. And we wanted to carry it on through language, not only language, but also trying to do traditional types of activities that still exist today, like basket weaving, bentwood hats, mask making, and also the fishing part I was talking to you about. So it's passed on so that they can have something to relate to as they investigate or try to learn about their culture. And not only the Unangan students are invited, but there's also a lot of foreign students that are here that participate, and then they keep coming, so they must like, learning about the culture, and they feel part of the community too. So that's something positive.
Well, the first thing I want to say is I love listening to the stories some of the elders have about like 50 years back when they lived here. Some of the things I've heard makes me wish I had lived then, because nowadays, it would have been nice to have been able to look in the back of the valley and see like maybe one house. I like small towns. I don't really like big cities, and but I like being alone. And I just think it would have been a really cool experience to have been able to live out here, living off the land and resources that the Unalaska provided. And I just thought it would have been really, really interesting to have been there.
Camp Q has been so fun. I hope to come back again next year. I just want to thank all the elders and mentors. Because the 2 years that I have been here, it has been such an honor. I love to learn about the stuff that the Aleuts did in the old days. Today we are going to have a potluck. I met a lot of kids and they are really nice.